Hey everyone, welcome back. Yes, we are doing it again. We're decluttering. What are we doing this time? We're working on the outside of our yards. So cleaning up the front yard, the backyard, the side yard, whatever kind of yard you have, it's time to work on that. I don't know what season you're in, if you're in your summer season or your winter season, depending on what state you live in, what country you live in, what your weather is like. But for us here in New Jersey, we are at the tail end of summer, approaching fall very quickly. This week will be the first day of officially of fall. Time to get out there and clean up our yard. So what do we do to clean up our yard? Well, I like to go out and get rid of all the dead plants. And I've got my vegetable garden. I'll show you some of those pictures that we did, some in the greenhouse and some on another kind of makeshift deer protected place to grow my veggies, and it worked very well. We did a very simple garden this year for veggies, but it worked. It was good. And so we need to clean that up. Empty the pots, get rid of the plants, put them in the compost, clean it out. And we have just, I will call them tchotchkes. I don't know what else you call them. Decorative things in the garden that either are rusty or broken, or we've had them for a few seasons, time to move them on. So we went out the other day and I was kind of, that's garbage, and I was just kind of throwing them out the garden bed. And now we have to go around with a wheelbarrow and pick all those items up to throw them in the trash. And we're starting to hang our fall flags. We want to put our flags out that have either apples on them or fall leaves. We'll eventually change some of those over to turkeys and get stuff up for Thanksgiving. That'll be toward the end of the fall. But we're working through all of that, just kind of getting them ready, the garden beds, weeding them out, raking them out so I can put some mums out there. And we don't do a whole lot. I love to do pumpkins on the step and some gourds on the steps. And I head out to Pennsylvania. Many of you know that I love shopping in Pennsylvania. And I go and I hunt for my $1 pumpkins. So those of you that are frugal, yes, every year I find pumpkins for $1. And plenty of places. And the funny thing is, I'll post them on Facebook when I get home that I got my $1 pumpkins, and my friends that live in Pennsylvania will say, where did you go? Because they don't even know where to go. So I find that fun to do. So that's what we're doing. We're cleaning up the yard, raking, sweeping off the steps, making a list of projects. Like our back steps desperately need to be painted. Our front porch is just a small porch, but the railing is now becoming rusty. We need to get that painted. We have a handicap ramp in the front of our house for my husband, and that needs to be painted. It's getting rusted. And there is like a brick, I guess you want to say like a platform. I don't know how to describe it. And to balance it out, and it's got like wood running down the side and to kind of like contain everything. Well, that's starting to rot. So we need to get our maintenance crew over here. We are in a rental house and we have a maintenance team that we can call and make a list of things that need to be done. We're at their mercy, but we're making a list of what has to get done. So those are the kind of things that we're working on. And then a few weeks ago, we noticed we had some big black ants here and there. Not, bits and pieces here and there. Nothing major, but enough where we don't have that. And I said to my husband, where are they coming from? We've never had that before. So my husband decided to do a little spraying in the area and just to make sure that, we were okay. And we have a huge pine tree right outside of our back door. And we noticed a little spot, but we thought it was like a woodpecker pecking at it. And then he noticed there was a hole there. So he thought, well, let me just spray. He wasn't thinking through it. He did that. Well, I came home from work to find thousands, I won't even say millions, but it was hundreds of thousands of black ants, some with wings, some not, marching down that tree, falling, like raining out of the tree. I didn't even know where to put my feet. There were that many ants. So we called our one friend who's one of our maintenance guys that, we can ask questions of. And he said, you probably have a tree that's been infested with ants, and you sprayed that and you've disturbed it enough where they now need to go find another tree. He said, spray it one more time, give it a couple hours, and you'll come back and you'll see some dead ants, and the tree will be emptied and the ants will have found another tree somewhere else. Sure enough, 3 hours later, We had a graveyard of ants. It was horrible. And my husband took the blower and kind of blew all that away. And now we're noticing that the tree is raining pine needles. Like I'll show you pictures at the end. It won't even do it justice. You can't see our yard, the mat on our, at the bottom of our stairs. You can't even see where the mat is. You can't see anything. I have plants out there. They're just covered in these pine needles. It's almost like an infestation of pine needles, but they're just falling from the tree. So I did mention that again to the maintenance guy, and he said the tree is probably now slowly dying, and it's dead and or dying, and it's just getting rid of everything. So the tree's going to have to come down. So I don't know if they'll do it this season, if it'll have to wait till the spring, I don't know, but they're aware of it. They're coming to check it out and make sure we're not in any danger and all that good stuff. So that's what we're doing. We're decluttering our yard in the sense of, getting rid of those bits and pieces of things that, they're cluttering up the garden. So I hope you enjoy the few pictures I have at the end. Let me know what you're doing to clean up your yards. Do you clean it up for the season? Does it stay all the time the same way? Do you even have gardens? Do you kind of fuss over your gardens? I'd be curious to know. All right, guys, thanks for coming over. We'll catch you all on the next video.